Hi everyone, thanks for checking out my first craft video. Today we're going to be making a card holder wallet. I actually use these as my everyday wallet. I fold up my cash and I put all my cards in there, but really you can use this for anything. Today we're going to be using the Cricut Explorer Air 2. You can do this on a Cricut or you can even just do it with the pattern and a craft knife. You will need leather. I'm going to be using the Cricut brand Genuine Leather. You can use faux leather or you can even find leather online. I find that the Cricut brand leather just works best with my machine, and they were having a sale, so I got a bunch of it. But I have gotten some leather on Amazon that works well. You just have to make sure that it's not too thick. But if you're doing it with just a knife, you can really use any leather. You will also need these button studs. I got mine on Amazon and I will link them below. You will need a craft knife. You will definitely need one of these whether you are using the Cricut or not, just to make sure you have it to reinforce some of the cuts. Also helpful would be a cutting mat. You don't have to use the Cricut brand one that I have, but just any cutting mat will do. If you are using the Cricut, you will need a strong grip mat. A standard mat should work as well, but I would recommend the strong grip mat, and you definitely need a deep cut blade. All right, let's get started. So go ahead and start off by uploading this SVG that I provided into your Cricut design space. And it might come in big, so just resize it to whatever size that you want. It's going to depend on how much leather you have, how big it is, your mats. But one thing that I found really helpful is I actually cut this with paper first and then made sure it was the size I wanted. And this is about the size that I'm going to make. So if you want to do the one exactly like mine, you can use this guideline right here. And this can come in just as a cut file. It should be perfectly ready. You shouldn't have to get rid of anything in the background or anything like that. So go ahead and put your leather on your mat. Make sure you're doing the smooth side down. That's very important. Cuts way better. And set your material to custom. Once you've done that, you can go back to your Cricut design space, press make it, and then it will lead you to this. Go ahead and type in leather and select Genuine Leather. And you will see at the top, it says move star wheels all the way to the right. Take those little white wheels that are on the Cricut and just move them all the way to the right. It's a little tricky. If you don't, they tend to make marks on the leather. Sometimes I will put my pressure at more, like you just saw. It definitely gives a better cut. Now you can go ahead and load your mat and get started. Again, if you are fearful to do this, try it the first time with paper, make sure that it turns out well, and then you can try with your leather. And it should cut the design a few different times, so you'll see it go over and over it. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 times, just to really reinforce that cut. Once you're done, you can go ahead and peel off that excess leather, and it should leave you with this nice cut. I would keep that leather because you can actually use that for bookmarks or earrings and stuff like that. I always keep my extra leather. You can go ahead and grab the leather off of the mat. You can put that mat away and bring out your cutting mat. If you don't have a cutting mat, you can probably just put something else under there, maybe a piece of cardboard or something. I just don't want you cutting through your table. So you can use that knife now to reinforce those holes. Sometimes the Cricut doesn't get the holes fully out. So what I do is I go back in there with my craft knife and I just reinforce them. Sometimes it just needs like a little poke to get that leather out of there, that extra leather, and then you'll be left with these nice holes. Now go ahead and grab a back and a front to your button studs. So you should have the back, which looks kind of like a screw, and then the front, which is the button part. What you're going to want to do now is grab the 2 side flaps and the bottom flap and kind of bring them all together. This will also help you realize if your holes are clear and good to go. As you can see, I had trouble with one of the holes and realized that it wasn't fully clear. So I went back with my X-Acto knife and fixed that before I moved forward. Now you can go back, grab that button stud again, the back, and push it all the way through those holes. So do the sides first and then grab the bottom and push that all the way down. Make sure you're pushing it all the way down so that the leather goes all the way to the bottom and the grooves kind of stick out, so when you go to screw on the button, there's a room for it to screw on. So make sure you're pushing that all the way down. Now go ahead and grab the top to your button and just screw it on, just like anything else, righty-tighty. And there you have it. That's the bottom of your pouch. Super, super easy. Now the button doesn't really fit through that top hole. So what I do is I just grab my knife and I cut, I would say maybe an 1/8 to 1/4 inch slit so that that button will then fit right through. And obviously go ahead and test it out. And you can go ahead and close your pouch and you're done. That's it. It's super, super easy, no sewing involved, and you have yourself a card holder pouch. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Stay tuned for my other leather tutorials that I'll be putting out sometime soon.